You wanna know who I am? Folks call me the Bone Man, ain't my real name, but it's the one that stuck. Tonight on Requiem Radio, we drift back to the foggy alleys of Restoration London, where composer's final breath may have frozen into song. Some say music can raise the dead, others say it can trap the soul. And if you listen close enough, real close, you might hear the note that never made it home. This one's called the Coldest Note.
They say Henry Purcell died of a chill. Not plague, not drink, not even consumption, as was fashionable in his century, but something smaller, colder, more personal. It was November of 1695. Purcell had returned late from the theatre to find the door to his Westminster home locked tight. Some say his wife, Frances, had gone to bed early and left the key turned. Others claim she barred him out deliberately. Tired of his late nights, his court appointments, his music drifting long into morning. Either way, the result was the same. He knocked and knocked, and no one came. He waited in the cold, lungs filling with damp London air, until morning. By then, his voice was already gone. A few days later, so was he. Now that's the official version. It sits neatly in the biographies, the obituaries, the scholarly footnotes. But there's another version, one that lives backstage in the green rooms and the hushed mouths of sopranos who've sung Dido's lament one too many times. You see, it's a story about a note, a cold one. It began in 1782, long after Dido and Aeneas had slipped into obscurity. A revival was staged at Drury Lane, with a young soprano named Eleanor Wake in the lead. She was praised for her clarity, her stillness, the way she made grief feel quiet. When she sang the final aria, "When I am laid in earth, may my wrongs create no trouble in thy breast," the audience didn't applaud right away. They just sat, hushed, listening to the silence that followed. Backstage, Wake collapsed. She wasn't sick, she wasn't hurt, but her skin had gone gray, and her lips moved in silence. A stagehand leaned close and heard her whisper. He was behind me, standing behind me, gray, and dripping, his mouth moved with mine. She never sang again. At first, folks chalked it up to nerves, romanticism, theatrics. But in the years that followed, odd stories began to cluster around that aria. Strings went out of tune, just for that passage broke in half measures. Singers lost their breath, their pitch, their memory. And always, just before the final line, "Remember me, but forget my fate," came a flicker of cold, a drop in the room's temperature, a note that didn't belong. They called it the cold note, not a note written on any staff, not something you could sing or tune to. It was a presence, a harmony out of step with the rest. It didn't clash, it haunted, it hovered. And it didn't come for everyone. Only the best, only the ones who sang it with too much feeling. The ones who let the grief slip into their breath like fog. Some called it a myth. Others said it was the ghost of Dido herself. But among older musicians, those who knew their Purcell, it was understood that the cold note belonged to him, to Henry. There's even a letter, or there was a fragment, claimed by one Alfred Linden, a minor scholar in the 1930s, who wrote a book no one read until he died suddenly of pneumonia. In the appendix, he transcribed what he claimed was a private note from Frances Purcell, Henry's widow. He returned too late, and I would not rouse the maid. He knocked for near an hour. The music box began to turn without winding, and I heard a sound like a man weeping in tune. With the wind, I never heard his voice again. But I dream still of his fingers upon the clavi, cold and grey. They tap the notes like nails. Scholars called it forgery, but those who've sung the aria know better. They felt the shift. The cold note is not about dissonance or tuning forks. It's about proximity. It's what happens when a soul gets caught inside a song and doesn't know how to leave. And Dido's lament, that final aria, is not a curtain call. It's a doorway. When the singer means it, really means it, when the sorrow is too raw, too pure, he comes. You don't see him, not at first, but the air changes, the silence thickens. You feel him behind you, just outside the spotlight. Sometimes he sings with you, just under the note, just close enough to brush the hairs on your arms. It's not malicious, not a haunting in the vengeful sense. It's a grief that never resolved, a life that never finished saying goodbye. Purcell died unheard, Locke died unlearned. And now, in the space between remember me and forget my fate, he waits. Not for applause, but for release. So when Dido and Aeneas is staged, and the house lights dim, and the singer steps forward into that terrible final breath.
You've been listening to Requiem Radio, where music bleeds into the supernatural. And that was the Coldest Note. When she says, remember me, he does. Ain't it strange how a soul can outlive its body? How a song can hold what death lets slip. So next time you hear a voice that ain't yours echo back from the stage, best make sure you ain't singing to the grave. Now you can read more about these sounds and the stories they leave behind over at the Academy of Southern Music on Substack. If If you're the kind who likes to linger after the music stops, ain't gonna be no more tonight. Y'all rest easy, and don't let the dark drive you home.